Good morning. Today is February 20th, 2026. It's currently 9:47 a.m. And I have another hypothetical situation I've been thinking about. I'm reading a book about, I'm not really sure what it's about yet. Aliens, I guess. But in the very first chapter, there's a brother and a sister, and they're maybe 19 years old, approximately, and they're trying to escape an abusive family situation. So they've packed up all their things, they've gotten in the car, and they're taking a road trip across the country to escape and start their life somewhere new. And along the way, there's a snowstorm. And I don't think I'm really spoiling anything because this is chapter one. Like, this happens right at the start. And they get into an accident. They drive off a cliff after losing control of the car, and the sister dies. The brother ends up basically not brain dead, but unable to really do anything. He ends up in a care facility, and he's catatonic. Like, he doesn't respond to any stimulus. He's living or alive, but not really there. And like I said, the book is about aliens, so eventually aliens show up in the sky. There's spaceships, and no one knows what's going on. And this character who has gotten into an accident and not really there anymore, he wakes up. Like, he starts talking again and starts experiencing life again, able to move, able to eat on his own. All of those things come back. But what doesn't come back at the start are his memories. And in the book, it starts describing things like slacks. He starts wondering, am I a slacks kind of guy? Or do I tuck my shirt in? Because he's in this facility where he's only ever worn robes, and he has no memory from the accident or anything before that. He doesn't really know who he is. And it made me think about, if that happened to you, if you woke up one day and you had no memories at all of your past and no concept of who you even are, how would you know what you liked or didn't like? Where did those things come from? Because in my mind, it's often your experiences that define whether or not you like something. If you go play soccer for the first time as a kid and you have a fun time, you probably are going to like soccer. And what determines if you had a fun time is usually the people that you are playing with, or the weather, or all these different things that kind of come together to define that experience. But if you have no memories and no family, like this character does, he wakes up and he has no reference to really know if an experience is good or bad. So he's exploring life without really anything. And I guess there's situations like food. If you eat a strawberry, your taste buds sense the flavor. That gets transmitted to your brain. You have a reaction to that flavor. But are we in control of that reaction? Or is taste something that is defined based on genetics and the other things that we've eaten that kind of builds a catalog in our mind of what's a good or a bad flavor? Because I remember when I was a kid, we met an allergist, and I don't know if they were officially a doctor or anything, but they said something that I still think about sometimes. And that was, if you are eating a strawberry and something traumatic happens, like let's say you find out that your parents died and you are eating a strawberry, your brain can confuse that negative emotion you're having to the tragic event and associate it with the strawberry. And you can develop an allergic reaction to strawberries. I don't know how true that is because it's never happened to me or anyone I know. It makes sense in theory, though. And I guess where I was going with that is, if you don't have any concept of what a tragic experience is because you've lost all your memories and you don't know what you like or dislike, then your body doesn't really know how to react to those things. And if taste is genetic, like if I love strawberries because of my DNA that has constructed this body and these taste buds, then is something like vision genetic as well? You know, when something is aesthetically pleasing, why? Why does it make you feel good to look at something? What has kind of developed that sense? And is the sense of vision something you have control over? Because there's also the concept of teaching yourself to like something. If you hate broccoli and you eat it and you pretend or convince yourself that you like it, over time you might develop a taste for it and enjoy eating broccoli. And can you do that with vision and touch and all your other senses? Can you define or control the things that you like or don't like, or are they just a result of everything that came before? All the experiences you've had and your DNA and I guess things you don't have control over. If I lost all my memory and all my experiences, would I become anything remotely similar to who I am now? Would I still like programming and doing puzzles and reading and drawing and all these things that I love? Would I still like them? Or would I find myself with new likes and dislikes based on only my new experiences? It's interesting to think about, even if it'll never happen, but where do your likes and dislikes really come from? What has influenced them? And can you influence them? Yeah. Well, have a great day. Bye.